All right, everybody, we're going to get started. Um, Welcome to a CodeHS webinar. This is leveraging and showcasing student work on CodeHS. I'm your host. My name is Alex Ecker. I'm a curriculum developer at CodeHS, and helping me today is Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a customer success manager at CodeHS.
Perfect. And he's going to be managing the Q&A. What you might notice in the upper left-hand side of your screen is a little Q&A box. You can use that Q&A box to write in with any questions that you have during the webinar in case anything comes up that you might want answered at the time. I also want to just note that this webinar will be recorded and posted online. So if you missed anything and you wanted to see it again, you always have an opportunity to do that. All right, so today's agenda, basically what we're going to be talking about is why it's important to showcase student work. And then we're going to explore a couple of different features on the CodeHS site that are going to allow you to showcase student work. That includes badges, being able to share student work with a link, and then finally our student showcase. So why should we showcase student work? Ultimately, what I think it comes down to is showcasing student work is important because highlighting student achievement builds engagement and esteem in students and increases rigor and expectations. Recognizing students for their hard work can motivate them to work harder on future assignments and help them realize their potential. And for students that are struggling in your course, highlighting some of their work also validates the efforts that they've been putting into to overcoming some of that challenging work. In addition, it also challenges other students to maintain a certain level of rigor in their work. If you highlight high levels of work, that demonstrates to students that your expectations are pretty high in terms of what high quality work looks like, and it gives them tangible examples and results of what they should be producing. So ultimately what it comes down to is really engaging your students and making them feel as though they are a part of this community and they're excelling in it, and also to challenge them to really make sure that the products that they're creating are up to the standards that you're setting for them and the ones that they should be ultimately setting for themselves. So the first thing that I want to go over right now is badges. And so these are some of the things that we have on our site that allow you to showcase work. Badges are a way that you can actually design different badges for students. So you can create badges that are individual for students, such as growth mindset or persistence, or they're ones that you can give to all students for getting particular things correct. These are things that you can award basically as spirit awards, or you can give them to students for completing a certain amount of work or progress on the course. On CodeHS, it's really simple for how you can actually create these badges. In your toolbox, you should notice under the progress button, there's an award badges button. When you click on that, it'll take you to this page that says, award students badges. Now here, you'll notice that there isn't anything, I don't have anything created, but it's really easy to actually create a badge on the site. If you just click this icon right here, you can create a badge. So maybe I want to call this one the extra mile. And the description that I have here is, you've been putting in a lot of extra work recently. Thanks for your commitment. Then what I can do is I can upload an image. Maybe, and I found this little road image a little bit earlier, and I'll take a second to upload. But I've uploaded this little image, and then what I can do is I can just hit the create button. Now I have the extra mile badge that I can now assign to any of my students. So if I wanted to assign myself this badge, I can just award this badge to a particular student by clicking this plus button, and then I can assign that badge and give a reason for why they deserve that. And then I can award that to them. And now on their page, they'll notice that badge that exists there. And then you can also view all of the badges that your students have earned by clicking this view all button. One thing that you can do is when you view all of the badges that your student has created, you can print some of those out and really make sure that students are aware of the different badges that have been created. So this is a really awesome way for you to create a badge and use that to motivate students, either because they've done something that you are really happy with in regards to like moral and ethical behavior in the classroom, or also in regards to, just progress that they might be making in the course. And Chris just provided a link for us for you to learn a little bit more about those badges. But you can design badges, as I kind of said, that reflect the core values you hope to develop in your students. You can also reveal which badges students received as a whole class at the end of the week. And you can post images and posters of your unique badges around the room so students know what they're working towards. This is a way for students to get excited about badges and student accomplishment in general. You can also have students nominate each other for badge awards. So depending on the badges that you create, students can nominate each other for those. And you can also have students acknowledge their peers for hard work or collaboration, which adds to supportive classroom culture. You could also create a space in your classroom for students to write out badge recommendations. So maybe you have a box in your classroom that students can drop recommendations in for different badges that they like, either things that they think will be motivating or silly gestures that they think will just be a fun thing to earn for their classroom, so that it's actually less disruptive of your class time by having the space where students can drop that off. And so these are just a bunch of different suggestions for how you can actually use the badge tool for your advantage in your classroom. Before we move on to anything besides the badges, I just wanted to see if anybody had any questions first off, just about badges. If you have any, please feel free to write those in the Q&A, and I'll wait a second to just get a better sense of what, if anybody has any questions. All right, it doesn't appear that anybody has any questions, so I think I'm just gonna keep going. One of the other tools that we have on our site for showcasing student work is our share button. Our share button allows students to actually share programs using like a very shareable and easy share URL. So any student can do this on their own page, but teachers can also create a share link from their page as well. So let's say my student created this ghost invasion assignment, and I was really happy with the way that they did it. They added kind of an extra randomizer function in the start function here, and I want to really share that. In order to share student work, all you have to do is click on this More tab within the code editor and click on the Share tab that exists right here. Now, what you'll notice is in some of the exercises, especially the ones in the JavaScript graphics program, you'll also be able to create a QR code that can be used from the Expo app. Expo is just another organization that allows you to run apps on a mobile phone. So if you want, you can also click this Publish button, which will then create a QR code that can then be read using the More button and Share, and then we can just click Create Share Link. And what happens is it just creates the share link URL. And so what I can do now is if I click on that share link URL, it'll actually take me to a page that's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than the code editor. And it'll show me, if I click Run Code, exactly what the code is running. You can control as a teacher. Well, as a teacher, you can actually view it in the editor, and you can add this to our student showcase, which is exactly what we'll be talking about in a little bit. But this is a really easy link for students to share either with their parents or with their friends, or that you can share with your administrators if you want them to just see really quickly what a student's been working on. So you can just click Run Phone. You can also send a tweet immediately. So if you click that button, it'll just create a share link, and you can also like this on Facebook. So there's a lot. This is a really awesome way for students to immediately share work that they've created and create like a very easy link to just get other people to view some of the work that they've created. As I kind of mentioned down here, as a teacher, what you can do is you can actually save the program to your section, which is basically the student showcase. So from a student's perspective, right, when they click share, they'll be able to share this as well. But as a teacher, you can also create that share link. Now, if a student has already created a share link, what you can do is you can actually save a program to your student showcase. And so I'll talk a little bit about what that student showcase is now. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to press Save Program to Section, just to populate our student showcase to show you all in a little bit of what that looks like. But let's say you have another assignment that a student has created. So if I run code here, I see this flag. I'm just proud of the way that the student did this, and I want to share this either with their parents or with the class or with an administrator of some kind. What I can do here is I can actually add this to the student showcase. So under the More tab, if you go to the Teacher button down here, what you'll notice is that you'll see save as a showcase program. And then what you can do is it'll show you the different classes that you have. So my class is called Best Class, and I can save the program to that class. So if you have multiple sections, those sections will show up here. And what you can do is you can press Save Program to Class. And what that's going to do is it's going to save it to the student showcase, but it's also going to add a couple of additional options. So what it'll do is it'll go back to this original code editor page. And then when you go to the More and Teacher tab again, you'll see some additional items here where you can actually upload a photo for this particular program. I can also remove this item from the showcase now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to choose a file. I've already screenshotted the canvas. So what I did was I just created a screenshot of this. And then I'm going to choose a file to upload for that program. So it's this, this screenshot that we have here. And I'm going to upload this. And so now this is going to be the new file, the photo that's going to show up when I look at this program. Now what I can do is I can actually go to that section showcase page straight from here. So if I'm in that section, what I can do is I can go to section showcase page and I can just click Best Class. And what that's going to do is it's going to load my student showcase. And so the student showcase includes any problem that I've decided I want to add to my student showcase. As you'll notice, I just added this flag of the Netherlands example. And here, now what I can see is the image that I screenshotted and uploaded. The ghost invasion one that I just added from this page doesn't actually have the photo there because I haven't uploaded the photo for that item. But so what you'll see here is there are 3 items, 2 without photos, and then the one that I just uploaded here. And if I click on this now, what it's going to do is it's going to go to a shareable link that was created in order for people to view that particular assignment. And so this can be a really awesome way, an awesome tool for you to use as a teacher. If you notice, if you're grading student work and you notice some problems that seem very exemplar, you can add them to the student showcase. At the end of the week, what you can do is you can put your student showcase like this directly on the board, or you can share it as a link to your students and have them play around with the different items that are in the showcase and explain to them that these are the exemplar works that students have created. So it's a really awesome way to get students to engage with some of the other work that other students have created. But it's also a way for you to, if you have parents and you want to show them what their students have been working on, you can send them a link to the student program showcase. If you have administrators that are still interested in learning about what's going on in your classroom and you need a really concise way of doing that, you can create the student program showcase and send that to them. And so this is a really great way for you to actually showcase your students' work. And make sure that it's being appreciated and valued in the way that you see fit as the classroom teacher. And so this is a really awesome tool that we have that I think can be useful for a lot of teachers. And that's essentially the student program showcase. At this time, I suppose I'll take a couple of questions to see if anybody has any questions at all about either the student showcase or the share button that we have available to teachers.
Hey, Alex, I'm not sure if you saw that we have a question about how to get to the showcase. Do you want to show that again?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that. So there's a couple of ways that you can actually do that. The first way is when you're on your class section, what you can do is you can just open that class section and it'll show you, obviously, right, the students that you have enrolled in the course. From here, the way that you can get to the showcase is if you click this More tab right here, you'll notice all the way at the bottom is this student program showcase. And if I click on that, it'll bring me to the showcase for that section. So what's really important to understand is that each section that you have will have a showcase. In addition to accessing it from here, another way that you can access it is if you have a share link already. So if I go to this More tab and then I click on the teacher button, I can access the student showcase directly from the More tab as well. So those are the 2 ways that you can get there is one, either from your section, you click More, or when you're actually entered on a student's program, when you click the teacher tab, you can access the showcase from that page as well. Thanks for asking that. Any other additional questions about those features that we have in regards to showcasing student work?
While we're waiting for any questions that there might be, I just wanted to highlight that I shared a few articles in the chat feature that go over everything that Alex covered in this webinar. They're good, concise articles that are resources that you can keep nearby if you want to utilize any of these share features.
Great. I just wanted to kind of emphasize that while the tools themselves can be pretty powerful, how you as a teacher decide to use them can make all the difference in how student work is being showcased and admired in your classroom. So creating structured time in your plans to highlight, acknowledge, and share student work will increase the likelihood that students appreciate and understand the importance of what they're producing and learning in their classrooms. So, things that you can do to showcase the work is schedule class presentation days, when students can show off a project that they've designed in class, or even set up a hackathon during back to school night so students can show their parents a little bit of what they're learning. And so, ultimately, these are the tools that we have that can showcase these different, student achievements, but it's really how you create structure in your classroom around highlighting student work that's going to make all the difference for whether or not students feel like their work is appreciated. And I see a question here about the artifacts for the College Board. So students would, in terms of the showcase, are you, I'm assuming that you're asking if you can use the showcase to submit to that. There's actually a College Board, there's a site that they're supposed to submit their work to. So you wouldn't be able to just send the student showcase to the College Board in order to show them what students have been working on. You actually have a portal from the AP from the College Board that students are supposed to submit the work to. So as far as I'm aware, students have to individually submit the work. You wouldn't be able to actually submit the showcase as a way to get all of your student work to the College Board. And in a follow-up email, I'll send a little bit more information about that. So that way I can get that squared away for you. Perfect. All right. So if there aren't any other questions, and I'll stay on for a little bit longer, but that was essentially the rest of the webinar that I wanted to share with you all in terms of showcasing student work. And I'll wait on for a little bit longer, but thank you all so much for attending this webinar, and I hope that it was useful in terms of teaching you a little bit about ways that you can showcase some of the student assignments that your students are creating. So I'll hang on for a little bit longer, but if nobody has any other questions, I'd just like to say thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. I was just asked a question, so do we offer other webinars about CodeHS? The answer is yes. We had a webinar series back in the fall, and you can actually access all of the previous webinars that we've had by going to help.codehs.com, and I'll just type that right here. And what you can do is you can actually go to help.codehs.com, type in webinars, and all of our previous webinars are going to show up on that page. So that way you can look at some of the previous webinars that you had, and we also are going to have continued webinar series moving forward, and we'll continue to send out emails about those future webinars. Of course. And Chris just shared in the chat again, just a link to the webinar search so that you can easily get there to see the different webinars that we have. All right, if there are no more questions, I just got a question about just an attendance sheet so that you can submit this as professional development. We can do that, yes. So that's something that we can include for you if that's something that you need. We have the email on file that you signed in for, so we should be able to send something to you that way. All right, I just want to say thank you to everybody for participating, and I'm going to stop the webinar now. Like I said, I'll send out a follow-up email to all of this, giving you all the information that have been asked for during the webinar. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your night.